Well, some deadheads are going down the road feeling bad today. Bob Weir, the co-founder of the influential 60s rock band, has died. Weir cemented his legacy as the band's longtime rhythm guitarist, and for the rock-steady rhythm guitarist affectionately known as Bobby, the music never truly stopped. So joining me this morning are editors-in-chief of Relix Magazine, Dean Budnick and Mike Greenhaus. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's not a great occasion if you're a deadhead, but I'm so happy to be able to talk with you about the legacy of Bob Weir. Not only did he help obviously co-found the band, the Grateful Dead, he's been carrying on their torch for more than half a century. Mike, just talk to us about his extensive musical legacy, because I think that people, when they talk about the guitar playing, especially in the original lineup of the Dead, they always obviously mention Jerry, but Bobby Weir really redefined what a rhythm guitarist could be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he started playing with these guys when he was in his teens and really developed his style in between both Jerry Garcia's lead guitar lines and Phil Lesh's bass lines. And that rhythm, which was informed by everything from McCoy Tyner's jazz stylings to the cowboy songs he grew up loving, really did cement the rhythmic center of the Dead on their guitar lines.
Yeah, and Dean, from a musician's perspective, I mean, Jerry Garcia would often remark about Bobby Weir's unique abilities. Apparently, his hands, he had like those Jimi Hendrix hands. His hands were so large, it allowed him to do incredible things on the guitar. He didn't do a lot of soloing, but he was able to play around the chords using syncopation and using inversions and arpeggios. That made him sort of a very unique guitar player, especially at the time.
That's fair. I think a lot of people feel that he's a musician's musician, guitarist's guitarist. And if people want to hear this for themselves, they can go to dead.net, where there are a lot of individual stems from the band that are there, and they can listen to Bobby. They can isolate him and hear him doing his thing, which is really, really fascinating.
Can we also just talk about, and it may be completely cliched, guys, but my two favorite Dead songs are songs that he sang lead on, Sugar Magnolia and Truckin'. Yeah. I mean, I know that they're probably the most, I don't know. It's sort of like, when you talk to real Deadheads, they're like, oh man, give me a deep cut. But I mean, I was introduced to the Dead through Sugar Magnolia, and so it has stuck with me this whole time. And his voice is just lovely on that.
Yeah, Bobby, especially after Pigpen passed away, who was one of the other original, lead vocalists in the band, really developed into the band's frontman and carried that for many decades. And even after Jerry Garcia's passing, I think he really took it upon himself to bring the band's music into the present and to set up a legacy so it could continue, in his words, for 300 years into the future.
Yeah. And in one of his last conversations with you, Dean, Bobby talked about how the world eventually came around to what was going on with this ragtag group from Haight Street in San Francisco, which for a long time was relatively underground. I mean, tell me about more of that conversation.
I mean, to some degree, they were not just underground, but disparaged. Think back to 1987 with their album In the Dark, and people thought that they were just throwbacks to the long lost 1960s era and ethos. And it was the music was anything but that. It was inventive on a night-to-night basis, and sometimes it would be elevated, and sometimes the whole thing would fall on its face. And that was the glory of the gig, both for the band and for the people who would come out night after night to see what they did.
Were you both, Dean and Mike, were you both surprised? I was, because I didn't know he was sick. I mean, I had seen Dead and Company a couple of times over the last couple of years. He looked great, sounded great. I had no idea that this was something that was, I didn't know he was sick.
Well, if you saw the last shows out in Golden Gate Park in August of this past year, I think you could glean that maybe he wasn't entirely in fine fettle, and the Deadhead community, being the Deadhead community, has been talking about it for a little while, that at least there was some speculation that perhaps he wasn't as healthy as one would hope Bobby would be.
And Mike, really quickly before we go, do you think that the Dead and Company will continue?
I mean, in the form that they had been touring with before, there's going to have to be obviously a metamorphosis, but the music that they made is going to continue on for years to come. Whether it's the remaining founding members bringing continuing on to perform in different incarnations, or many of the musicians that they mentored and played with over the last 6 decades, taking the music and making it their own, and still tipping their hat to the founding members.
Yeah, for sure. What a legacy. Dean Budnick, Mike Greenhaus, thank you both for coming on today. This was really a great conversation for a legendary figure in music. Thank you.